Burgers, juicy, cheesy, and loved by everyone from kids to grandparents. It's the ultimate comfort food, but have you ever wondered where it all began? Welcome to WTFood History, the channel where we serve you the weird, tasty, and fascinating stories behind your favorite foods. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the feast. The burger is one of the most iconic foods in the world, and it's so ingrained in our culture that it's hard to imagine life without it. But did you know that the humble hamburger didn't actually start in America? Its roots stretch across oceans, centuries, and even empires. So let's bite into the surprising story of the world's favorite sandwich. Our journey begins in the 12th century with Mongol horsemen under the leadership of the mighty Genghis Khan. These nomadic warriors roamed vast stretches of Asia and Eastern Europe, and they carried with them a unique culinary tradition. Underneath their saddles, they would place raw, minced meat, often mutton, but occasionally horse meat. The idea was simple yet practical. The friction and movement of riding would help tenderize the meat, making it softer and easier to chew after a long day of galloping across the steppes. This practice might seem a little gross to us today, but for these intrepid horsemen, it was a matter of survival. The Mongols were known for their equestrian skills and their ability to travel long distances quickly. And having a handy way to prepare their food while on the move was essential to their way of life. As the Mongol Empire expanded, so did the influence of their cuisine. When the Mongols invaded Russia in the 13th century, they introduced the local populations to new foods and cooking techniques, including their signature dish of tenderized meat. The Russians took to this hearty fare, and soon steak tartare became a staple of their diet. Steak tartare is a dish of raw ground beef that is seasoned with salt, pepper, onions, and sometimes vinegar or mustard. It's named after the Tartar people, an ancient nomadic tribe from Central Asia, and it was popular among the Russian nobility. It was considered a delicacy and was often served as an appetizer in fancy restaurants. Of course, it was quite different from the modern interpretation of steak tartare, which usually consists of finely chopped rather than ground meat. But the basic ingredients and preparation method were the same. Now, if you're wondering why the Mongols didn't call their dish steak tartare, well, that's because the word steak didn't enter the English language until the 16th century. Fast forward a few centuries and we arrive at the 19th century, a time when German immigrants began arriving in the United States in large numbers. These immigrants brought with them a taste of home, including a beloved dish of minced beef called the Hamburg steak. It was a simple, hearty meal that consisted of ground beef that had been seasoned with salt and pepper, and then fried until it was brown on both sides. The dish was a hit with the working class who were looking for an affordable and filling meal. The immigrants adapted their traditional recipe to the ingredients that were available in the US, and it quickly became a staple of German-American cuisine. Often the Hamburg steak was served with onions and bread. But although it may seem obvious to us now that someone would eventually come along and put it between two slices of bread and call it a hamburger, it wasn't quite that simple. There are several theories about how the hamburger was invented, and no one is 100% certain who deserves the credit. Some say it was a matter of convenience, while others believe it was a happy accident. The earliest written reference to the hamburger dates back to 1834, when a cookbook called The Virginia Housewife included a recipe for a dish called hash between two pieces of bread. Although it doesn't sound particularly appetizing, this recipe was essentially the same as a hamburger. It called for ground beef to be mixed with chopped onions and spices, formed into a patty, and then cooked in its own juices and butter. The resulting mixture was placed between two slices of bread and served with tomato slices and mustard. But this was hardly the first time someone had thought to put meat between two pieces of bread. So, what made the hamburger stand out? For most of American history, there wasn't much to choose from when it came to fast food options. If you wanted a quick bite to eat, your choices were pretty limited. You could grab a sandwich from a deli counter or maybe pick up a hot dog from a street vendor. But that all changed in the late 1800s and early 1900s, when food vendors began to pop up across the US, selling burgers. The concept was simple. Instead of waiting around for a full-fledged restaurant meal, you could grab a burger and go. And for busy Americans who needed to stay on the move, this was a game changer. One of the earliest known businesses to specialize in hamburgers was the Lewis Lunch Restaurant in New Haven, Connecticut. Founded in 1907 by Louis Lasson, the restaurant quickly gained a reputation for serving up delicious burgers that were made with fresh ingredients. The burgers were cooked on a flat-top grill and served on toasted buns with all the fixings. It didn't take long for word to spread about the tasty burgers at Louis Lunch, and soon people were coming from all over to try them. Another early burger joint was the White Manna in Hackensack, New Jersey. The restaurant was a diner-style eatery that specialized in burgers. They also claimed to have invented the hamburger, though it seems that the exact origins of the dish were still a bit murky at this point. According to legend, a customer once asked for a burger to go, and the owners obliged by wrapping it in a piece of paper towel. This is said to have inspired the creation of the fast food industry. But whether or not this story is true, it's clear that the burger's popularity was growing by leaps and bounds. Of course, it wouldn't be fair to talk about the evolution of the hamburger without mentioning the impact of McDonald's. In the 1940s, brothers Richard and Morris McDonald opened up a restaurant in San Bernardino, California. They streamlined the process of making burgers, allowing them to serve customers quickly and efficiently. This approach, known as fast food, revolutionized the way people ate and led to the rise of fast food chains all over the world. One of the most famous innovations at McDonald's was the introduction of the hamburger. This burger was cheap, tasty, and perfectly formed. It quickly became a customer favorite, and McDonald's became synonymous with the burger. By the 1960s, hamburgers were a mainstream part of American culture. They were served in restaurants, school cafeterias, and even at backyard cookouts. People of all ages loved them, and it seemed like everyone had their own favorite burger joint. And let's not forget about the copycats. Other fast food chains like Burger King and Wendy's popped up offering their own take on the burger. Each chain had its secret sauce and special toppings that set their burgers apart. And then there was the gourmet burger movement. As people became more interested in the quality and source of their food, a new breed of burger joint emerged. These restaurants focused on using fresh, locally sourced ingredients, and they offered burgers that were anything but ordinary. They experimented with different types of beef, brioche buns, and toppings like caramelized onions and bacon jam. Today, hamburgers are everywhere. You can get them for as little as $1 at fast food joints or splurge on a $100 Wagyu burger at a fancy restaurant. Plant-based eaters are also in luck as plant-based burgers like the Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger have made their way into the mainstream. Made with ingredients like pea protein and coconut oil, these burgers look and taste like real meat, but they're completely animal-free. The burger has truly come a long way since its humble beginnings as a tenderized Mongol dish. So, next time you sink your teeth into a juicy burger, remember, you're not just eating fast food. You're tasting centuries of history from the Mongol Empire to the Industrial Revolution and beyond. The burger has been a part of our story for a long time. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite type of burger? And do you have a favorite burger joint? Share your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more food history bites. Until next time, happy burger hunting.